The great match between Liverpool and Man City has ended, but the echoes of this match are still discussed a lot by the audience. In addition to the attractive play of the two teams or the controversial rules of the referee, we also need it must be mentioned that the individual who stood out in the match. WATARU Endo, the best player in the great battle at Anfield, is the most admired character after the past week. With the style of ball control and constant pressing intensity of both Liverpool and Man City, the midfield is the hot spot and the place that can resolve the match. Liverpool yesterday controlled the midfield well against Man City, making it impossible for them to deploy the ball forward. Mac Allister, or especially Endo, completely locked down Rodri or De Bruyne on the other side of the front line. Endo's appearance turned De Bruyne into a clown for nearly 70 minutes of the match, leaving the Belgian midfielder without much space to play before being replaced. We have also seen that Endo's presence in Liverpool's backline caused Rodri to lose his usual passes because of the good coverage from the Japanese midfielder. Passing the ball with 96% accuracy, winning 6-7 duels, successfully crossing the ball 4 times, and clearing the ball twice in front of the penalty area are what Endo showed against Man City. Looking at the statistics during nearly 100 minutes of play, it is no surprise that Liverpool's number 3 was voted the best player of the match. Endo's memorable match last night was just one of the Japanese midfielder's impressive performances for Liverpool this season. From a midfielder who is only Plan B in Jurgen Klopp's transfer plan in the summer of 2023, he has to receive not very positive reviews. Now Endo has become the most important link in the Kopp's midfield next to Mac Allister or Szoboszlai. It's not even an exaggeration to say that Endo is one of the top midfielders in the Premier League and is currently on par with names like De Bruyne, Enzo, Caicedo, and Odegaard. Before this year's season starts, Jurgen Klopp wants to revolutionize Liverpool's midfield. He brought in Dominic Szoboszlai, Mac Allister, and Gravenberch for a total of more than $100 million. A number 6 in the midfield at that time was a position that Liverpool lacked, and the Kop targeted Brighton's Caicedo and Southampton's Lavia. Because of this, throughout the summer, we witnessed the rivalry between Liverpool and Chelsea in 2 dramatic transfer deals. In the end, the Red Brigade lost these 2 players to the Blues. Liverpool was forced to implement Plan B when recruiting Endo from VfB Stuttgart for £16 million. Liverpool associates and experts are very confused about this decision of the Kop when Endo is 30 years old, plays in a less famous team like Stuttgart, and is labeled as an Asian player, so how can he be successful? With a playing error that requires a great deal of physical strength from Jurgen Klopp. In the first days of joining the Premier League, Endo also had to admit that the Premier League environment is really harsh. Every player is always ready with a high attitude to press and close to you right from the home field. Jurgen Klopp also shared about his student after what Endo showed on the training field. Endo is the hardest working player I have ever seen. He will be an important player for us. In the first match, WATARU Endo was still not used by Jurgen Klopp. Endo only had a chance to play against Fulham when Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Mac Allister were injured. However, it was this match that accidentally helped Liverpool realize they have one of the best number 6s in the Premier League to date. The Green Samurai Warrior is truly a reliable stopper for the Kop. In the first matches, given the opportunity, Liverpool's goal ratio decreased significantly compared to the beginning of the season, from 134 to 0.63 every time Endo was in the starting lineup. There is no midfielder in the Premier League right now who excels in aerial duels than Endo, with an average of 15 successful aerial duels per 90 minutes. In addition, Endo has a very strong fighting spirit. Fire when ready to commit tactical fouls when necessary. This shows the extremely good feeling of the former Stuttgart captain. Liverpool has only lost 1 match in the domestic league over the past 5 months. And in that defeat against Arsenal in the Emirates, Endo did not start. Liverpool's winning rate when Endo is in the main formation is up to 88%, and it has contributed greatly to the Kop's current achievements. Won the Carabao Cup, reached the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, entered the knockout round of the Europa League, and ranked 2nd in the Premier League, only losing to Arsenal on extra difference. Even though they are going through the most difficult times, Endo and his teammates still can win more titles this season. Taking on the number 6 role in the Bundesliga and the Premier League are two completely different stories. In English football, the pressing intensity is extremely high, and there is not much time for a player to decide on how to handle the ball. Endo is also at a disadvantage with his small body. However, tall, agile, and classy players like Gallagher, Enzo, Foden, or De Bruyne were all helpless before the graceful and certain ability of this Japanese midfielder. The saying on social networks that Endo is equal to Enzo plus Caicedo seems to be just a joke, but in reality, Wataru Endo has proven that comparison is completely valid. He is even slightly better than the two above-mentioned Chelsea midfielders. Last January, when Endo returned to the Japanese team to participate in the Asian Cup, Liverpool also encountered certain difficulties. Jurgen Klopp himself also shared this. "I have to say that I love Endo's way of playing football. It's a pity that at a time when Endo was flourishing, he was preparing to join the Japanese team." Before moving to Liverpool last summer, Endo was an extremely important piece of Stuttgart. After 4 seasons playing in the Bundesliga, the Japanese midfielder twice became the best player of the season for the White Swans and was trusted by the coach to give him the captain's armband. He is also Stuttgart's hero in the 2021 to 2022 season when he scored the decisive goal to help the home team successfully survive relegation in the final moments. On the Japanese team, Endo is also a key factor for Moriyasu in midfield. World Cup 2022 is his first major tournament in the national team shirt. Green Samurai's achievement of reaching round 18 owes a lot to this midfielder. Endo was also voted the best player of the Japanese team at that tournament. In the recent Asian Cup, playing with too much intensity at Liverpool caused the 1993 midfielder to be overloaded. He was not in the best form when entering the tournament. Even though he couldn't win the championship, in the match against weaker opponents like our Vietnamese team or the Indonesian team, Endo still showed the difference in class when he brought his qualifications from Europe to Asia. Witnessing Wataru Endo's consecutive shining performances, Jurgen Klopp has more grounds to believe that the Japanese midfielder will be able to shine even more in the future. I said before that Endo is a quality player. I'm sure he will sign another long-term contract with Liverpool within the next 2 to 3 years. Endo has turned 31 years old, but his playing style is still really impressive. Endo possesses an excellent defensive mindset that helps the team many times, a top-class player in the world at the moment. 16 million is the amount Liverpool spent to recruit Endo to Anfield, and witnessing the performance of the Japanese midfielder, this is truly a more than successful deal for them. Endo's ascent really makes us admire. He grew up at Shonan Belmar Training Center, started at Urawa Red Diamonds, and had a stepping stone in the Pot of Asian players Sint Truiden, and gradually proved his ability in 4 years at Stuttgart. Now Wataru Endo has risen to become one of the top midfielders in the Premier League. This midfielder will also be one of the legacies that coach Jurgen Klopp leaves behind for Liverpool, for his successor, coach next season in building a new empire at Anfield. If Xabi Alonso really lands at the Kop this summer, as rumored recently, this will allow Endo to reach even further, as the Spanish strategist really likes the type of player with plays like a Japanese midfielder. Looking at the way Florian Wirtz is shining brightly at the Bay Arena under the hands of Xabi Alonso is the basis for me to believe this. In front of Endo and his teammates will be 3 arenas: the Premier League, Europa League, and FA Cup. Liverpool is still capable of achieving a historic quadruple this season, although they know that it will be difficult when they are facing an injury crisis. If they maintain the same form as against City last night or recently, they can absolutely hope for the most miraculous thing at the end: season. And maybe Endo will become the most successful Asian player in history in his first season playing football in England.